Hi Honey Bunnies! This video is a review of graphing slope-intercept form equations. The slope-intercept formula is y equals mx plus b. In this formula, x and y represent the x and y of the coordinate grid, which are the input and the output values. The m and b are variables that are actually replaced by numbers. These numbers can be positive, negative, 0, even decimals or fractions. Please pause this video right now and make sure that you have the formula written on your paper. In this formula, B represents the y-intercept of the line. This is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. That's why it's called the y-intercept. When an equation ends with +5 or +2 or +1,000, this means the line crosses the y-axis at a positive number above the origin. When an equation ends with -4 or -7 or -1,000,000, the line crosses the y-axis at a negative number below the origin. What if you don't see a number at the end of the equation at all? What do you think the y-intercept is? Pause this video right now and answer that question on your paper. If you don't see a y-intercept at the end of the equation, there's actually a hidden 0. The m represents the slope of the line. The slope refers to how flat or steep the line is. You may remember the phrase rise over run when we talk about slope. This phrase refers to the difference between each set of points on the line. Between each set of points, how much does the line go up or down? And then go over, how much does it rise, and then how much does it run? If the number is exactly 0, that means the line is completely flat. If the number is close to 0, like 1/2 or -0.25, it is still pretty flat, but not perfectly flat. The farther the number gets away from 0, the steeper the line gets. Remember, steep means rising or dropping quickly, like a hill that you don't want to bike up or bike down. To graph an equation, start by graphing the y-intercept on the y-axis. Then, build off of this point using the slope to rise and run from there. For an example, in the equation y equals 3x, I know that the y-intercept is 0, so I plot the point at 0 on the y-axis. Then, I can focus on the slope. When I see the slope is 3, I know that's really 3 over 1. So from my first point, I will rise 3 and run 1. Now that I have 2 points, I can make my line. There are many points on a line, but I just need 2 in order to make it. Pause this video right now and do that first problem on your paper. Now take a look at the second problem, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. What's the slope? What's the y-intercept? Pause this video right now to fill in that information on your paper. In question number 2, you should have identified the slope as 1/2 or 1/2 and the y-intercept as 3. Now, to graph this equation, you're going to start with the y-intercept at the point 0, 3 on the y-axis. From there, you need to build off of that point using the slope. 1/2 means to rise 1 and run 2. Now that you have a second point, you can make your line. Pause this video right now to fill in number 2 on your notes. In our third and final example, we need to graph the equation y equals -4x plus 1. Before you do any graphing, I want you to pause this video and fill in the questions for number 3 on your paper. For example number 3, you should have written that the slope is -4 or -4 over 1, that the y-intercept is 1, and that you notice that the slope is negative and that will bring the line downwards from left to right. I'd like you to try graphing number 3 now on your paper. For number 3, your graph should go through the point 0, 1, which is the y-intercept, and from there it should go down 4 because it is a -4 and right 1 in order to get to the next point. Thanks for watching, honey bunnies!